Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about what angles are, intersections, and some special cases. So let's get started. On your screen, you can see an angle that is created by two rays. From our previous videos, we know that on top, we have ray BA. On bottom, we have ray BC, written as BC with the arrow. When you put these two rays together, you can see there is also an angle in between those two. And there's a couple ways to write this. If an angle is all by itself, we can write it simply as angle B. If there are other angles involved, or you simply want to write it differently, you can also write it as angle ABC. You have to make sure that you read each point in order, so A, B, C. But you can also read them in reverse and write it as angle CBA, going backwards. But you cannot write it any other way. You can only go forward or backwards to get the angle you want. Now, what if we have two lines or rays or line segments that never touch? In this case, you can see that we have lines going on forever in both directions, but they will never touch each other. In this case, we describe them, or we call them, parallel lines. You can sort of think of these like railroad tracks, where they always are next to each other, but they never get any closer or further apart. And there's a special way to write this, and it's a combination of what you already know. So first, let's talk about what these things are called. So this is line AB, and we know it's written like this. And the one below it is line CD, written with the double arrows on top. And if you want to write that line AB is parallel to line CD, you write AB with the double arrow is parallel, so you make two white railroad tracks, to line CD. So now we have a different problem where our lines do intersect each other. We have line AD, line AD, intersecting line BC. We'll write this over here, line BC. Now we don't have a fancy way to draw that they are intersecting each other, but we can say that line AD and BC intersect each other at point E. And that's important because now we can start talking about the angles that they create. So let's describe the angles that we have here. In the previous section, we were able to call the angle, for example, here with the E, we could call it angle E. But that doesn't make sense because we have multiple angles that are attached to point E, so we have to label them specifically. So let's start with this angle marked in blue. We can describe this in two ways. We can call it AEB, or in reverse, BEA. So let's write it in both ways. We use the angle symbol, and then we write the letters AEB, or angle BEA. On the other side of point E, which we will do in black, can be labeled angle CED, or angle DEC. For our very last example, we have another intersection of line BC and AD. However, there's one important difference. These intersections, or these lines, intersect at a right angle, or they're called perpendicular. This is important because this means that this angle is 90 degrees. We'll do a lot more with this in the future, but just remember, whenever you see this box in the intersection, which I will highlight here in orange, you call it perpendicular. Whenever we have two lines that are perpendicular to each other, we can also write them in a special way. So we have line AD with the arrows is perpendicular, and it's a symbol written like this, to line BC. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.